Wheat. It's a grass widely cultivated for its seed, and it's become a worldwide staple food. Wheat is grown on more land area than any other food crop. World trade for wheat is greater than for all other crops combined. In 2016, world production of wheat was 749 million tons, making it the second most produced cereal after maize. Global demand for wheat is increasing due to the ease at which it can be produced into processed foods. For many thousands of years, different varieties of ancient wheat have helped to sustain humanity. We once gathered wheat until humans slowly began cultivating it. So why has wheat become a problem? From the early strains of wheat cultivated by humans, today there are now almost 25,000 different varieties, nearly all of them created by human intervention. In short, the wheat produced today is not the same wheat that even your grandparents would have had access to. The changes to today's modern dwarf wheat, along with the genetic modification and pesticide use, has changed wheat exponentially faster than nature ever could have, and in ways that nature never would have necessarily intended. Could these changes that produce our modern human-created wheat products be creating health problems? To answer that question, I'd like to share with you information from a book I recently read. The book is called Wheat Belly, written by William Davis, MD. In the book, William goes into deep detail into wheat products and its effect on human health. He even describes in the book how he has cured his patients of a multitude of different ailments and illnesses by simply removing wheat from their diet. So the information that I'm going to go over with you in this training course is based heavily upon this book, Wheat Belly. I do not receive any royalties whatsoever from this book. I have no affiliation whatsoever with William Davis or any publisher. I am giving this information to you completely of my own free will and my own free choice. I would encourage you to purchase the book on your own. It can be easily found on Amazon.com and in other sources as well. And I've even seen them at Barnes & Noble, for example, as well. But we are going to go over just a few of the big bullet points from that book to give you some perspective on what wheat can do to our health and how by reducing wheat in our diet, how we might be able to realize health benefits by removing wheat. Okay, so the first point that I'd like to make from the book is that wheat produces a strong spike in blood sugar and an appropriate insulin response. This creates what is known as wheat belly, which is the title of the book, of course. And what's important to note as well is that this applies to whole wheat, just as to any other variety of wheat as well. Also, as mentioned before, modern wheat is very different than the ancient wheat varieties that we've had throughout humanity, and even up until just the last 50 years or so. And this applies even to modern organic wheat, being that it's been changed so much over time. Wheat is also widely genetically modified, and so that really kind of goes into the point of gluten, which is a protein that's found in the wheat. Being that the gluten has changed so much, whether the wheat is genetically modified or organic or not, could be a big source and a big reason why we have things like celiac disease and irritable bowel syndrome, because the body produces an immune response to this protein, causing abdominal pain, diarrhea, and what we call irritable bowel syndrome these days, or even worse. Now, something that was really interesting that I learned from the book too is that wheat actually has addictive properties, very similar to opiate drugs. Now, that wasn't something that I would have anticipated in the book, but I think it's a valid point that whenever you remove wheat from your diet, you can actually get cravings for wheat for a while because you do have an addiction to it. So again, read the book. It's really got some really interesting information about how that mechanism works. Because wheat produces a strong spike in blood sugar and again an insulin response, it contributes heavily towards visceral fat, which has its own anti-health properties as well. And if you're not familiar with what visceral fat is, that's the fat that builds up around your belly and around your organs. And again, why the book is called Wheat Belly. Another point as well is that wheat and diabetes are closely interwoven. Going again back to the fact that it produces a strong spike in blood sugar and an insulin response. It makes a lot of sense that wheat would have a lot to do with diabetes in our society today. Wheat is also a pH disruptor, and it adds an acidic burden to the body. So then the body has to work pretty hard to right-size the blood pH levels back to appropriate levels. And so that can be very taxing to other parts of your body. And also, wheat consumption is a big factor in heart disease as well. Now, if you might remember from the video on fats, where I shared that fat cannot be looked at in isolation and blamed exclusively for things like heart disease or stroke or ailments that we have in our society today that we blame on fats. And that was a big reason why, is because of the things that I learned in this book about how wheats can contribute to heart disease, hardening of the arteries, inflammation throughout the body, in how a high wheat diet, specifically wheat, combined with fats, is a recipe for disaster for your health. And then finally, the last point I'd like to make too is that wheat is very destructive to the skin. And that was something else that I didn't think about as well. But I have to tell you that whenever we eliminated wheat from our diet, we had our skin cleared right up. Acne was gone, skin rashes were gone, things like dandruff and other issues that you might have with your skin, all of those things disappear when you remove wheat from your diet. And that was something that was very surprising to me, but was absolutely spot on whenever we tried removing wheat from our diet based on the information that we got in this book. So let me go over a couple of bullet points as well that I took away from the book that the improvements in your health that you can get by removing wheat from your diet. I'm just going to run through these bullet points because I think they're really fascinating. The first one is that removing wheat can stabilize your mood. Again, think about that addictive property that wheat has. It also helps you lose weight because, again, you're not spiking your blood sugar anymore. You're not having a big insulin response anymore, which is a fat hormone. Insulin helps to store that excess energy as fat in your body. It stops food cravings, and I noticed this as well. Whenever you move away from wheat-based foods into more solid foods like meats and vegetables and fruits, you just don't get the food cravings anymore. So that is a very valid bullet point. It also helps to prevent and reverse diabetes. William Davis in the book said it himself that he had cured cases of diabetes by just removing wheat from people's diet. It also helps improve cognitive ability. You get better sleep because, again, you have a more streamlined and stabilized blood sugar level. You end digestive issues like celiac and IBS, irritable bowel syndrome, which is all by itself is a very powerful statement, being that we have so many of those issues in today's society. And because it helps with your skin, it can help you look a lot younger because it clears up your face and the inflammation around your skin is just gone. So it really does help you look younger. And those are just a few bullet points. There's more. So I would really encourage you to purchase the book, read it on your own. There's so much good information in this book about what wheat can do to our health. It's really pretty staggering. And so this is just one more source of new information to feed your OODA loop with your nice new, active mindset to help you make better decisions and different decisions about how you eat for optimum health and what's going to be right for you at the end of the day. So that really wraps up the section here on wheat. The next video, we really start having a lot of fun. This is where we start making optimum health easy, getting the right kind of fats, removing wheats, maintaining optimum health, finding your place in optimum health, and empowering yourself to do it on your own. The next few videos are what's going to do it. And so can't wait to show you. I hope you can see my excitement, because we're finally there. The next few videos is what brings it all together. So we'll see you over there.